Hi everybody, it's Professor Trent, REL 110, and today I'm here with your lecture summary for Chapter 8, Confucianism and Daoism. Meet me with your world religions textbook. We are on page, let's see here. We are on page 252. If you've got the third edition, around there if you have the second edition. All right, so this lecture summary is super brief. We're not going to go into a ton of detail on these two traditions. I simply wanted to give you a general overview. The reason I wanted to give you a general overview of Confucianism and Daoism is that it's actually quite influential on today's modern culture, but you probably don't realize it. If you haven't yet watched the TED Ed video on yin and yang, or yin and yang as you've probably said it, please go back and watch that. How many of you have ever gotten, a yin and yang henna tattoo at the beach, right? Or gotten a sticker or something? It looks like this. If you've never seen the symbol, it's pretty ubiquitous in American culture, but you probably didn't know that it has its roots in China, specifically in Confucianism and Daoism especially. And the beauty of this symbol is that it represents balance, right? We have to have a portion of darkness in the light side and a portion of lightness in the dark side, all right? And this is the secret to life, the secret to the Tao, the balance of the way things are. So one of the reasons that I want to expose you to this chapter is that it contains some really great ancient wisdom that is applicable today, and you actually encounter today, you probably just don't realize it. So let's cover these two traditions really quickly. Confucianism and Daoism are both indigenous to China. So we've been to North American continent, we've been to Africa, we've been to India, now we are in China. So there are two traditions that emerge out of China as the global traditions. They are Confucianism and Daoism. They have a lot of overlap. Don't worry about memorizing all of those vocab words. There's a lot of them. I'm going to teach you a couple of general themes about these two traditions that you need to remember. All right, start taking notes here. Confucianism is founded by Confucius. Yes, that's easy to remember, right? Those two things go together. What you need to know about Confucius is that Confucius is a very upright, upstanding person, all right? Confucius is focused on morals, ethics, filial piety, community, and doing the right thing. Confucius is often credited with providing humanity with the first golden rule. All right, so Confucius is someone who is focused on doing the right thing. Daoism is founded by Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu has a little bit of a different focus. Rather than being externally focused on rules and rituals and doing the right thing, Lao Tzu says that if you focus on the internal work of self-improvement and growth and balancing your qi, the rest of it will all come together. So essentially we have these two men who have different views and approaches to spirituality, community, doing the right thing, and life. They are not mutually exclusive. They both can live in harmony and do live in harmony in China and outside of China. And so let's talk a little bit about what is unique to each of them. So here's how I often explain it in my courses, because I do want to say that ultimate reality, way of life, and ultimate purpose are a little confusing in Confucianism and Daoism. So I'm not necessarily going to break it down in that way for you, but I'm going to tell you the broader themes of the two. So what I like to do is say, and if you want to meet me in the summary pages, feel free. Let's say that you are having over Confucius and Lao Tzu for Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, so I like to call them Grandpappy Confucius and Grandpappy Lao Tzu. All right, because we sort of in our mind and historically we think of them as older gentlemen that would be like grandfather types. So you have these two gentlemen over for Thanksgiving dinner. And let's say they ask you about your life as a Wake Tech student. Grandpappy Confucius says, How is it going at school? What are you doing in terms of community service for school? How are you relating to your fellow students? And you kind of stumble and you're not really sure how to answer him. So then he goes into this lecture about how you need to do community service. You need to serve your fellow student, and you need to choose a career path that's going to benefit your community, and that's going to be an ethical career path that's going to achieve, to use a Buddhist term, right livelihood that is legal and also honorable. Also, Grandpappy Confucius is going to give you advice like take care of your parents, take care of your grandparents. That's known as filial piety. So the takeaway from Grandpappy Confucius's little mini sermon that he provided is that external things matter. He doesn't mean material things. Rather, what he means is doing for others, doing for your family, doing for your community, and doing the right thing. Confucius is very concerned about these matters, and he's not wrong, right? All of these are really important, and all of these make for better human beings and a better community, better families, and a better globe, right? If everybody did the right thing, everybody would be much, much happier, and life would be better for everyone. So Confucius would give you that advice. Lao Tzu is going to give you a different approach. So let's say Lao Tzu asks you at Thanksgiving, well, how's it going? What are you learning at Wake Tech? And you start telling him about all the homework you've got, and you're so busy, and you're overwhelmed, and you're stressed. And instead of stumbling for an answer, you've got plenty to say to him because you're really, really stressed out. Lao Tzu is going to offer you the following advice. Lao Tzu is going to say, you need to slow down and be still. You need to be out in nature, taking walks, having quiet time, maybe practicing a little Tai Chi, and thinking about your inner Chi and being in line with what's called the Tao, which is the way, also known as the Mother, which is the universal force that unites all things. So Grandpappy Lao Tzu is going to encourage you to take an internal focus. He's going to encourage you to take time for spiritual practice and well-being and health and exercise and self-care, because Lao Tzu is going to advise you that when you do that, everything else will come together, including your homework, because you'll have more energy to do it. Now let me pause here. If you've gotten this far in the video, and I hope you have, tell me who you'd rather have advice from, Confucius or Lao Tzu, and what do you think they would say specifically to you in your particular case, all right? So these two gentlemen are really important. They're important in Chinese history, but they're also important in global history because aspects of their teaching and philosophy remain with us today. Confucius's influence is quite important in Chinese history, also in global history in terms of morality, ethics, and filial piety. Very important in Chinese culture and beyond. Daoism is very influential both in China and beyond. If you've ever taken a Tai Chi class, does that sound familiar? That's Daoism. Again, if you've seen the yin yang symbol, Daoism. So friends, I hope by introducing you to some of these Chinese traditions, it helped you understand more about the culture, but also importantly, the wisdom that these two men offered both the people of their time and in perpetuity, even to us today. So let's head over to the chapter summary, 298, and the glossary. So there's not a lot of vocab that I want you to worry about for this chapter. I do want you to know who Confucius is and who Lao Tzu is and which traditions they founded. Please remember what the Tao is. Tao, D-A-O. Sometimes pronounced Tao, but it's Tao with a D. And also, I was looking to see Qi is in here. Pronounced Qi, but it starts with a Q, Q-I. Your breath, force, power, and material energy. So those are really the two words that I want you to focus on for this chapter. Of course, yin and yang, yes, definitely go back and look at those. So 4 vocab words, let me go over those again. Dao, Qi, Yin, Yang. All right? So I hope you enjoyed this quick lecture summary on Chapter 8. You are now prepared and covered for all of your material for the midterm, which I know you'll do amazing on. If you watched to the end of this video, leave a comment. Tell me what you liked best about this lecture summary. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye.